All right. Hope this one's working. So, still learning the whole streaming thing, but um, let me see. All right, perfect. Let's get started. Okay, cool. Still trying to work out the kinks of the streaming software. So, I have the chat open. So, if you can hear me, put a one. That'll be great. Um, but yeah, let's get into it. Okay. So each week we'll be doing a weekend sector review. I am a little bit late. Normally they will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. Just a little bit late. Been flying solo parenting. Not a complaint, just solo parenting. So kind of messed up the schedule a little bit, but all good, right? So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So each week we're going to go over each and every single sector. We're not going to go in depth into charts or anything like that. We're just going to go into every single sector and then go from there. I'll try to do more lives so that obviously it gets others involved outside of Zamunda as well too, instead of just recording the video and then posting it. All right. So um, for SMH, let's go ahead and start off with SMH. That's the chip sector for those that don't know. There's many different ETFs for each and every single sector, so you're welcome to use others. The one that I mainly use is SMH, and what we're going to be looking at is the time frames. The quarter, we're going to be looking at the month, we're going to be looking at the week, and then we're also going to be looking at the daily as well too. All right, just kind of seeing where the money is flowing to. One of the things that we talk about in Zamunda is that the money's not necessarily going away; it's just rotating into other sectors. So if you notice some sectors are underperforming, then focus on the sectors that are, or even if they are underperforming, that can allow you to short it, go long, whatever floats your boat. All right. Now for SMH, what we're seeing is we're going to start on the higher time frames first. So what we're seeing on the quarter, we do have 1 month left in the quarter, so everybody's aware. We've just closed out August. We have September coming up, and we're gonna finish that out. So right now, this candle is going to stay open until the end of September, until September completion. So far, we do have currently a two up that's not in force. On the month August closed as a two down. Again, not in force, which may potentially set us up for a 3-2-2 rev strat, or we'll get that continuation to the downside to keep expanding the run in formation. So that can go either way. I would say, pay attention, mark your levels out, pay attention to see if it goes 3-2-2 rev strat. But then more importantly, if it does go 3-2-2 rev strat, then what you're looking for is for that to hold in force, which will give you that potential reversal to the upside. On the weekly, we did end up as a 2-2 reversal. Again, not in force. As you can see, we took the lows, but we weren't able to, stay above it. Excuse me, stay below it. So that could potentially set us up for a 2-2 reversal, or because it's bearish, the bears might step in and continue to push that down. going with the 2-2 continuation to the downside, right? Looking at the weekly, it looks like we've found a little bit of support here with this double bottom. So if we do come down, I would mark out this area on SMH and maybe set an alert around 200. Maybe set an alert around 200 to see if you get a bounce there, right? Price has memory, so just if you, it's always good to look backwards in time and just see where we've previously bounced. We've rejected here around this area, and you caught a reversal, and then same thing as well too, right? Came down to this level and then immediately got bought back up. So if SMH wants to continue down, I would take note of that 200 level around SMH, and if it starts bouncing from there again, just like it did last time, third time's the charm, then that could set you up for a pretty decent long, right, back to the upside. All right. On the daily, right, we did actually get a 2-2 reversal, so pretty much all week, pretty much dropping, and then on Friday we get a 2-2 reversal, but again, not currently in force. So for me, um, as far as SMH is concerned, nothing really actionable for the sector. Just basing it off of the strat, right? You currently have mixed full time frame continuity. The daily is up, but with the rest of the time frames being bearish, again, you don't necessarily want to go against the trend. So what I would say is, just pay attention to what's happening. Make sure things go in force, because we're getting two ups and two downs, but as you can see, price is pretty much staying within the highs, previous highs and previous lows. When you're looking at the body of the candle, not necessarily the wicks, right? We're going to go ahead and move over into materials. So again, one of the reasons why we look at the different sectors, right? Because again, while one sector may not be showing, bullishness, or in SMH's case is pure bearishness, right? You're seeing here on materials, for example, right? On the quarter, we just took outside on the quarter, right? As you can see, we just went outside on the quarter. I believe a couple of sessions ago, we may have talked about the outside alert on materials, and it obviously took, right? So one of the things that we learned about was a 50% retrace. If you don't know what that is, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on it. But one of the things, especially on the, well, not for me, especially on the higher time frames, I pay attention to that. If especially in this situation, so this particular candle started as a two down, right? It opened here, took out the lows, and then immediately started getting bought back up. So for me, I would draw my 50% fib here. And as the candle goes up, if it starts closing above the 50% retrace on smaller time frames, for me, that tells me that we have potential to go outside candle, and that's exactly what happened here. And then looking at the monthly, pretty much a lot of consolidation. Like, I know you see two ups and obviously the double inside consolidation, but again, when you're looking at mainly the bodies of the candles, like price really wasn't, doing too much, wasn't really going anywhere. And then we finally get that breakout to the upside, right? We get after going double inside, we get a nice decisive move. We went outside, and then we end up as a two up hammer. So based on the monthly and also the quarterly alone, and then also the weekly and the daily, of course, because we're seeing continuations on the weekly and the daily. I'm expecting materials to continue pushing higher, right? We end up as an actionable signal. Nice hammer there on the two up. And we're getting nice continuation to the upside. And then same thing for the daily as well, too. Nice continuations to the upside. So even with any type of a pullback, I'm still thinking bullish, right? The buyers are definitely still here on all time frames. So looking at communications, kind of as far as, seeing the buyers, just like with materials, right? So the buyers are definitely in on the quarter and then also the month, right? We actually went double outside on the month. So I'm expecting, based on the quarter and also the monthly, I'm expecting us to continue pushing higher. Now, looking at the week is, um, excuse me, the week is currently outside. So looks like it just basically swept the lows and then, just kept it pushing. Stuck inside, but for me, looking at the double outside combo on the month, and then also how we're two up currently on the quarter, a two up hammer that is on the quarter. I would expect us to continue pushing. We actually ended Friday nice actionable signal. Again, took out the lows of Thursday and Wednesday, and then immediately the buyer stepped in, getting bought back up. So on the daily, that sets us up for the 2-2 reversal. I would be looking for a 3-2 up, or possibly a 3-1. Maybe it'll stay inside and set up that holy grail. For those that don't know what a holy grail is, that is a 3-1. But yeah, looking based on the month, if this continues to hold and the buyers stay here, then I'm definitely expecting us to go 3-2 up, and hopefully just stay in force with that. Not quite. Oh yeah, we are. I think we are at all-time highs. Let's see. Yeah. So if we took out, yeah. So if we keep it pushing, we're at all-time highs. So some of the tickers that you can pay attention to there. Meta, Netflix, Google, Disney, small account friendly tickers, probably Verizon. Um, AT&T is good for dividends, but also if you want to play that a little bit long term as well too. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others, but those are pretty much the main culprits that I play. But overall, look like again, with the exception of the week, but even you can even make an argument on the week how the buyer stepped up once we got to the lows. Just could not flip the week back. Black back to green, excuse me. But yeah, you can definitely see, after that, after the two, well, the pullback on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday, obviously, you see the buyer stepped in, set up that hammer, actionable signal. So we have hammers, outside hammer on the month, hammer on the day. So if you're looking to possibly set up some swings, um, long-term swings, then yeah, definitely communication should probably be one of the tickers that you should keep inside. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, the chat is there as well too. You're more than welcome to ask questions, talk, completely fine. I do have it open, so I should be able to see any questions that you may have. All right, moving right into, let's go energy. So with energy, um, we start off, well, currently the quarter is green, but again, this candle is still open, right? So um, we'll see how that goes, but that can definitely stay green and we can continue to push. What I would do is draw out your 50% retrace here, your fib, see if we get above that, and then see a potential to go outside. Looking at the monthly, right? We finished the month two down. However, as you can see, the bodies of all three candles kind of stayed in the same exact range. So took out lows here, immediately started getting bought back up, just couldn't finish the job and flip it back to green or possibly to go outside. So we'll see, right? Clearly showing some levels of, support here where the buyers are stepping in, buying it up over the past 3 months. Um, Looking at the weekly, 1 second. My bad. Okay, so on the week, where was I? Yeah, on the week we went 2-2 up. Again, just not in force. However, looking at the fact that if you draw your Broadening formations out, we're coming from the lower side of the Broadening formation. Excuse me, and we haven't attacked these highs up here just yet. So looking for that 2-2 continuation, just based on what I'm seeing here, just the buying from the lows. Obviously, it's not clear cut just yet because what we would like to see is for candles to be going in force, right? So obviously not in force, and then also the week is not in force as well too. The only time frame that went in force was your daily. with the 2-2 continuation. So um, still looking for, again, the continuation on the daily. The weekly, we're looking for, possibly a 2-2 continuation as well too. But again, because it's not enforced, I would chart it for both ways. In my opinion, nothing really doing just yet on energy. We would just want a little bit more clarity, possibly a 2-2 reversal in September, which would obviously push up on the quarter and possibly potentially to get it to go outside. If we get the 2-2 reversal on the monthly, then obviously on the week we also get that continuation up again to possibly attack these highs, making a higher high, and therefore that would create a broadened formation expansion there. And then on the daily, right, again, the daily, what we're looking for is 2-2 continuation, but um, no clear cut, again, actionable, signals. Um, I mean, you have a bearish hammer here, but I'm not really sold on that just yet. So let's move on to financials. So financials, first and foremost, shout out to the leader of the group, Sal, called out BAC 40.5 on Friday. It was a nice. I don't know if it was. I'm not sure if it was a lotto or if it was a swing into next week. But just based on looking at the sector, you can see why, right? Bank of America may not be the number one holding in the sector, but I believe it's within the top 10. So yeah, looking at the quarter, right, we get the 2-2 reversal. Like this is something, if you're looking to go long, this is something that, I would definitely want to see, right? We got the 2-2, not the 2-2 reversal, I'm sorry, the 2-2 continuation on the quarter. We finished August going outside, right? Solid candles to the upside. Same thing with the weekly, solid candles to the upside, no exhaustion. And same thing on the daily as well too. So for me, that's exactly what I would be looking for. The only caveat I'm going to say is that we are currently at all-time highs, right? So there's always risk of exhaustion. Thank you, Roberto. I thought it was a lotto, but I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to see what expiration he put. But yeah, again, my point and why I'm pointing it out is, you know, the fact that, this is what, if we're trying to go long, we're looking for where the buyers are, and clearly the buyers are here on every single time frame, right? And this is uncoupled time frames, so on every single time frame, this is exactly what we're looking for. Again, the only caveat, and I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything like that, I would still be bullish on it. It's just the fact that we're at all-time highs, so there's always potential risk of exhaustion. But I'm liking for the continuation. I'm liking to see the continuation just based on the monthly and the weekly. I'm liking to see the continuation to the upside. Um, yeah, maybe we'll create a PMG here if we can create another up candle, another two up candle, and then maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get the pullback then. But yeah, definitely would chart out BAC, WFC, that's Wells Fargo, um, Goldman Sachs, a little bit more expensive, but Goldman Sachs there, MS Morgan Stanley, JPM, that's Chase or JP Morgan, as well too. So definitely some tickers that you can, look at, start charting out. There's others, of course, but again, those are pretty much the main ones that I tend to look at, right? So after financials, we're gonna jump straight over into industrials. My bad, old drawings from before. So again, industrials, so you're kind of starting to see like where the money is flowing to, right? So industrials, we went outside on the quarter already, right? We went outside on the month as well too. So clearly buyers, long-term buyers, the swingers, right, are definitely here, right? The ones who are getting the long-term buys, they're definitely here. Same thing on the weekly, right? We went 2-2 up on the weekly, and then we also went 2-2 continuation on the daily as well too. Again, the only caveat that I would add is that it is at all-time highs. That's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to make you aware. But yeah, I mean, with an outside hammer on the month, 2-2 continuation on the week, and a solid close on Friday, I would expect the buyers to definitely stay here. I think DE is, well, it's not. I think it's a part of industrials, but DE is a part of industrials. It's one of the ones that I've been watching. Caught it on a short term put. Forgot to get back in it for calls, and I missed that run up to, I think got up to about 385 or so. But I believe its price target is uh, somewhere around like 425 or 420, if I'm not mistaken. Double inside week. Yeah, so yeah, pay attention. Double inside weeks. We love those. We definitely love those. Pretty decisive move once it decides whether it wants to go up or down. Pretty decisive move there. So also don't sleep on GE. I missed the last run up for GE, so it's a little workhorse. I think it was like weeks, like for a good minute. Let me actually. I know I said I wouldn't look at individual tickers, but yeah, this run up. Let me get rid of this old stuff. Yeah, so yeah, this run up. It was like weeks of straight green for GE, right? If you could have got if you would have gotten a well placed swing, um, anywhere like from, I don't know what the target would have been. I would have had to chart it out, but I mean, as you can see, it ran up all the way up to the highs of 157. That would have been an amazing swing there. So don't sleep on GE for industrials, but yeah, CAT, DE, GE. I think not. I think what's the defensive tickers? LMT, Raytheon are in there as well too. FedEx, UPS, Boeing. I'm not sure how well Boeing's doing. I haven't really charted it in a minute, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure how well it's doing after all that news and everything. But yeah, those are definitely some tickers that you can look at, and then obviously you can find ones that look pretty similar. Um, to what the sector is doing. As a matter of fact, Cat is the one that really sticks in my mind just based on the monthly. If I'm not mistaken, Cat, yeah, basically found that same level of support. If I'm not mistaken, let me just check it real quick. See, so you see on the month, let me get rid of some of the old stuff. Okay, so you see on the monthly here, right? Basically, it has not been able to close, anywhere in this area whatsoever. um, ICTers, you know exactly what I'm pointing out, but I'm gonna keep this to the strat. But you see how like it just keeps wicking in this area. The buyers just keep stepping up, so it's continuing to find levels of support there. So I think at least for the very least next week or even next month, I think XLI should be a part of your watch list tickers, for sure, because clearly, the buyers are here. Okay. And again, like I said, the only caveat that I'm going to add is we are at all time highs, but look for signs of exhaustion first before you start thinking reversal. Double inside week on UPS. Yes, sir. So again, like this is why we look at the sector. So this kind of tells you where the buyers are going. This tells you where the sellers are going, and then you can start formulating your plans from your watch list and kind of just make it a little bit easier on yourself, right? So after XLI, we are gonna go to, what is it? XLP, XLI, yeah, XLP, consumer staples. All right. So again, what is this telling us, right? The buyers are here, right? So 2-2 continuation on the quarter, 3-2 up on the month, right? After the Nirvana, 1-3 is a Nirvana, and then we went 1-3-2 to the upside, 2-2 continuation, and then we actually got a 2-2 reversal on Friday, right? On the daily. So again, buyers are here. They're stepping their game up. Yes, I believe we are at all-time highs, right? We just closed above this high on in the month of August, right? 2-2 continuation on the weekly, so clearly not done. I would say I know with Zamunda, there have been a lot of us that have been closing and making money off of cost. I don't know where it is right now, but I believe it's very very close, within range of 900, right? So you may want to consider the 900 call for cost. Obviously, you have your other small tickers, small account friendly tickers like Walmart, of course, Wally World, Coca-Cola. I believe I had called out. I missed it because I was training for those 2 weeks, but I believe I had called out the 70 call. Receipt is on Twitter when I said I think Coca-Cola wants to get 70. But yeah, you have others. PG, if I'm not mistaken, Procter and Gamble. Um, Even like Clorox, um, just when you think about it, is basically consumer defensive, right? So like if we do fall into a recession, this sector will probably still do well because people still got to shop, people still got to eat. You know what I'm saying? People still going to Walmart, people still going to Costco, um, and still doing what they do. So buyers are definitely here. I would definitely start looking into some tickers. Again, small account friendly as well too. You can definitely grab a couple contracts on certain tickers and then basically go from there. All right. So from XLP, we're going to go over to healthcare. I don't know why I feel like I'm forgetting one. So I think in the last sector review, we talked about healthcare as well and not sleeping on it. And this is why. All right. So 212 to the upside on the quarter. Also 3-2 up on the month as well too. Right. 2-2 continuation on the week and then 2-2 continuation. So um, I mean, there's definitely some tickers that you should pay attention to in there. Moderna, I think Amgen's also a part of healthcare as well too. You also have Pfizer is another one. Those are a couple different tickers that you can possibly take a look at. If you're in Zamunda and you need, to find out what all the sector holdings are, you can either look it up or I think I've dropped in my Excel sheet, sector Excel sheet. It is somewhere in the education tab. If you don't have it, just DM me. I'll send it to you. No problem. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, clearly you're seeing that, which probably means I missed Johnson and Johnson. Yeah, I don't even want to go look at the chart because if that thing ran up, I'm gonna be so mad at myself. I had actually like had that written down last month. Um, man, I'll do it. F it. Let's see. Yep. Damn. Had the 160s, but I don't think it's done. Based on the quarter, yep. Based on the quarter, I don't think we're done. So there still might be an opportunity there, but yeah. And this is why we set alerts, people. This is why we set alert. Damn. Work definitely got in the way because I definitely took my eyes off of that thing. Could have got the 160s and just sat, and I would have been absolutely fine. All right, but yeah, clearly again, what are you seeing? The buyers are definitely here on all time frames, full time frame continuity. Um, Again, adding the caveat that we are at all time highs. So yeah, just be aware of that. I probably wouldn't want to swing for months out because at some point there's going to be some sort of a pullback, some sort of corrective activity. With that being said, yeah, buyers are here, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at XLY. Oh, I skipped over one. My bad. I knew I was forgetting one. Utilities. XLU. So utility is actually, in my opinion, a sleeper sector. It's not going to be like your popular ticker is going to run up fast and all this other stuff. But I mean, it's a workhorse. It's a workhorse sector, right? Clearly, buyers are here, right? We just took the we not just, but we took the quarter up, right? So 2-2 continuation here. So we're just looking to make sure that it stays in force, that the buyers are still there. We went after the Nirvana in June and July. We went 132 to the upside, and we actually got a 2-2 continuation. Obviously, on that pullback, the buyers started stepping up, and then we actually get a 2-2 reversal on the daily. So I'm gonna keep it a stack. The only ticker that I even look at for utilities, me personally, is NE. I'm sure there's others to look at. I think like Dominion's in there, D. Um, SO, I think, is also in there as well too. But yeah, definitely check it out. Nia doesn't have weeklies, if I'm not mistaken. It's only monthly swings. But based on this, and we haven't hit all-time highs, right? It looks like we are going to attack that two up that was created back in July of 2022. That is all-time highs. So obviously, still a little bit of room to go there. So yeah, NEE is definitely something that I would, I would want to pay attention to. All right, now we're moving into consumer discretionary. So consumer discretionary, we went outside, right? Started, opened here at 180 or 182 ish, took the lows of the previous quarter, right? And then as you can see, the buyer stepped in. And it's a little bit more prevalent here in the monthly, right? We ended up going two down on the month, but honestly, all that exhaustion from the downside, we created a broadened formation there, all that exhaustion from the downside. So I would not be surprised if we go 2-2 reversal on the monthly. And the same thing on the weekly, just not a 2-2 reversal, more like a 3-2 up, right? Because um, clearly manipulated to the downside, and then the buyers just started buying it right back up. But yeah, we create the broad information on the weekly, we get that reversal. Looks like it was going to pull back, and then the buyer stepped up, ended up with a hammer three. So we're looking for the 3-2 to the upside, probably to TTO and attack. What's that? 194, 195 ish level. On the daily, we go 2-2 continuation to the upside as well too. So yeah, XOY definitely, right? Definitely something to look at. Well, you got Amazon, you got Tesla there. McDonald's is also an XLY as well too. So definitely something to pay attention to for sure. Um, because clearly the buyer started stepping. I would honestly want to pay attention more to this because we're not at all-time highs. Um, Clearly buyers started stepping in. So for me, there's more opportunity to the upside here. So I would probably want to pay a little bit more attention to XOY and the tickers in XOY, more so than anything else. There's also small account friendly tickers. I believe Ford is in XLY, or could I be wrong? I could be wrong. I always get it confused if it's between XLY or an industrials. I'll take a look at it. But yeah, definitely some small account tickers in here. It doesn't just have to be Amazon. It doesn't just have to be Tesla or McDonald's. You can definitely find some small account tickers in here that would do well for you. All right. So that's all of the main sectors pretty much. The only other sectors that I wanted to look at, because I know this is more for the group, because I know that I see some people are looking in the cybersecurity sector, certain tickers. Y'all know what ticker I'm talking about if you're in Zamunda. With that being said, yeah, good idea. Based on the quarter and then also the month, right? We went outside on the quarter, currently a hammer, and then we also went outside on the month as well too. Um, on the weekly, nice little pullback on the week. Not it, it did go two up, but just not in force. And then looking at the daily, it's a two down, but also bullish. So looking like, honestly, the whole thing is looking more like, kind of consolidation before we make a move. So um, I would not be surprised if we get some sort of maybe manipulation to the downside, and then we then try to run it up. But yeah, just looking at how it's setting up, I think we are definitely going to see some more upside in the cybersecurity sector. And the last one that I wanted to look at is going to be cloud sector. So with the cloud sector, currently we're down on the quarter, just not in force. So we'll see how the quarter wants to end. The monthly definitely got bought right back up after it dropped. So we'll see if that turns into a 2-2 reversal. Just not It's not as clear cut as what we're seeing on Bug. The weekly also went outside. Yeah, it's not very clear cut just yet, right? I could see potential for a reversal to the upside, but it's not clear cut just yet, right? Because the quarter, the month, and also the week, even though you're seeing exhaustion from the downside or buying from the downside, it's not clear cut. So I would wait until we get some sort of reversal. And I mean, it's probably it probably just got bought up from that big drop, and then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's turned because it could kind of be a situation like what we see here, right? If you look at the pattern that's been happening, sell off, buy up, sell off to take out this low, buying, sell off to take out this low, and then it kind of might just be repeating that same pattern, buying and then sell to take out this low. So I'm not really sold on it just yet. We'll see how we'll see how it goes. Um, yeah, this one I'm not really sold on the buyers just yet. And honestly, even looking at the daily, it's just been kind of, staying inside of a range. It did take out a lower low here, so that creates broad information, but hasn't really been able to, close above this range up here just yet. So we'll see how that wants to go, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to come to the live today. Wasn't going to be very long. I'll be also doing some trade recaps and then dropping those videos throughout the weekend. And Zamunda, I'll see you on Sunday. Probably Monday because 3-day weekend. But I'll see you on Monday for us to go ahead and start looking at some tickers, getting set up for some potential plays. Ideally, some potential swings that'll close us out and head us. Well, they're really the swings are gonna we're going to be looking at swings that are going to take us into possibly either the end of Q4 or into the beginning of Q1. No problem, Roberto. Again, this is going to be weekly. I'll try to do better with times. Again, sorry about that. No complaints or anything, just with solo parenting still sometimes. Kind of do it according to the schedule of my 4-year-old, right? All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. And yeah, we'll be talking soon.